We are either going to disrupt ourselves or we're going to be disrupted. How do we become known for one thing that we can be the absolute best in the world at, that we become the category leader in? They're going to crave community more than ever. They're going to crave having peers. They're going to look for in-person opportunities. The ultimate goal of a service-based business, of course, is transformation. So what sits between information and transformation? Implementation. How to make it easy and accessible for very quickly for people to be able to gain the information that they need so that you can focus your energy with them on the application, the implementation, and the results generation are really going to stand out, and they're going to stand the test of time. Welcome back to the Kelly Roach Show. Today we're going to talk about future-proofing your offers to get ready for the new era of online business. So we all know that things are rapidly changing in the online space, and this means that we are either going to disrupt ourselves or we're going to be disrupted. We've talked a lot on the show recently about evolving the way that we go to market and the way that we sell, but what about the way that we serve? In a market where we know that AI is taking center stage and is going to really commoditize information, how do we as service providers facilitate transformations that really elevate our brands and future-proof our businesses? Well, that's what we're going to talk about here today. So if you think about the commoditization of information, then we have to think about what are all the other elements that are experiential that we can integrate into the way that we serve customers that are going to help future-proof our businesses. Well, the first thing is specialization, right? You need to look at where you can niche in the exact solution that you provide in a more meaningful and specific way so that people come to you for an outcome and they very clearly associate your brand with that outcome. And I'll give a specific example of how we did this recently and how it's really affected our own growth. When we launched the virtual business school, we initially were just focused on rapid business growth. We were rapid business growth for service providers, and it was fast foundations for rapid business growth. And that was fine, and it worked, and it was great, and we grew. But then we said, how do we become known for one thing that we can be the absolute best in the world at, that we become the category leader in? And that one thing is daily sales. So we shifted that message from being generally about fast foundations for rapid growth to specifically about installing a daily sales system for rapid growth, right? And so now people come to us when they know they need to increase and accelerate their sales online, which, by the way, if there's anyone that's listening to today's episode that isn't already a member of the virtual business school, it's a total no-brainer that's going to give you the tools, the strategy, and the system for daily sales online in your business, even in between launches, master classes, and conversion events. So scroll down below this episode if you're not already a member. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is specialization. We've done episodes of the show before where we've talked about identifying that one word. What's that one word that's going to be the thing that people come to you for? And I've always said that my one word is growth. Of course, because I'm a business growth strategist, and the thing that we do is we help people build 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses. But we've even taken that a step further with the virtual business school, where our one word is sales. Okay? The second key thing is community. Think about it. As the world moves more and more to AI, and people are having more and more communication with robots and machines, they're going to crave community more than ever. They're going to crave having peers. They're going to look for in-person opportunities. They're going to look for digital, effective networking opportunities. So the second key thing you can do to future-proof your offers now is to really focus in on the community element of how you are helping them to make connections with one another, have a sense of a tribe-like mentality, build friendships, build acquaintances, set up collaborations and ways for people to work with one another. Okay. So number one is specialization. And number two is community. Now, number three is a big one. And this is one of the ones that we've been moving towards for a while, but we're taking even more steps to do this now. And we already talked about how information in and of itself is being commoditized. So what you want to be thinking about is the ultimate goal of a service-based business, of course, is transformation. So what sits between information and transformation? Implementation. Implementation is what sits between information and transformation. And so what we're doing, and what I recommend that you think about in your business as well, is we're focusing on really looking at how do we focus our interactions, our energy, and our effort with our clients to be more around not them sitting as a passive consumer, listening to our teaching, listening to our content, and how do we move towards leading them through the actualization of results. So think about the things that you can do in your business that are going to allow people to focus on taking action in real time to get real and tangible results in your products, programs, and services. And think about when people are going to be live with you, how you can best use that time to be focused around helping people to garner real results. So let's recap one more time. We talked about number one, making sure that we specialize into a specific problem that we can become the absolute best in the world at solving. Number two, we talked about facilitating community, collaborations, networking, friendship, opportunities for visibility, and so much more. Number three, we talked about moving away from sharing information, and we moved towards leading people through the transformation. And we talked about what sits between information and transformation is implementation. So really focusing on having the time that you spend actively with your customers, not be focused on sharing information, but instead leading them through the transformation via implementation. Okay. And this brings me to my fourth key point, which is really looking at disrupting yourself around the structure and the contents of the way that you interact with your clientele. How, when, where, why, how much. Okay? We definitely went through an era where people want more time and more calls and more Zooms and more, live interactions. And we've definitely had a period where people are fairly burnt out from that. And we're definitely in a season now where I think people more than most are looking for less time on Zoom. If you surveyed 100 online entrepreneurs, that would be probably one of the top goals that they have in their business right now. Less time on Zoom. So how do you make sure that you're able to deliver enough in your programs to get people a big result, share the information necessary to help them to actually understand your IP, understand your methodology, without them spending countless hours on Zoom to do it? Well, think of how you can mix and match asynchronous learning opportunities with live experiences. And so a couple things that you can think about, for example, many people are now moving to having a private podcast feed for their clients. We have an element of our programs that we're in the process right now. It's been years in the making of moving from being a Zoom to being a private podcast. We are looking at how do we maximize the time that we have live with people around implementation, and how do we move the information to become asynchronous, okay? So really looking at the dynamic of how you're sharing information, what you're sharing, even things as simple as using AI tools to give briefings of calls, detailed notes, action items, recaps, transcripts, really looking at how to make it easy and accessible for very quickly for people to be able to gain the information that they need so that you can focus your energy with them on the application, the implementation, and the results generation. And I truly believe that the businesses, especially in the service space, that understand these 4 things and go deeper in building community, in creating an asynchronous learning opportunity, in shifting the way that they interact live with their customers to be around results generation, and are forming tight-knit communities with a deep specialization, are really going to stand out, and they're going to stand the test of time. Now, we all know that this is all a rapidly moving target. Things are changing very quickly. We can't predict the future, but I do believe in the next era, these are going to be the key things. And for us, I am so excited because we've been working for many months now on a secret project that we're going to be ready to reveal soon that incorporates all of these elements at a complete no-brainer price that builds off of everything that we've been sharing and teaching inside the Virtual Business School. So excited to share more about that in coming weeks, but I hope that this episode was helpful for you so that you can go back, reevaluate your offers, reevaluate your positioning in the market, and really show that you are an innovative and disruptive business leader that is producing real-world solutions that match the needs of today. As always, I want to thank you so much for tuning into the Kelly Roach Show. It means so much to me. It means the absolute world. And I would be eternally grateful if you would just take a couple minutes to leave me a review online. When you do that, you let other entrepreneurs know that this is the place to be to grow their business online and to learn from someone who is really focused not just on their ability to serve and make a difference in the world, but to put their faith and family first in the process. So leave that review, and I can't wait to see you on the next episode.
Thank you so much for listening to The Kelly Roach Show. If you enjoyed this episode, do me 2 solids. Subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review so other people can find the life-changing content that we share here. We're on our way to number 1, and we need your help getting there. Thanks so much for being a part of the community and for tuning into the show each and every week.